What's up, YouTube? Welcome and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be reacting to a video from Strong Successful Male off his Hit the Bricks channel. Trigger warning. This one's going to be rough. Without further ado, let's get it.
It's a short story about a husband and father who is seriously considering ending his marriage after his wife royally crossed the line. And how'd she cross the line? Well, it turns out they were having an argument, which happened between husband and wives. And pretty much to win the argument, out of nowhere, she pulled something about his past to pretty much shut him up. Something about his past that he shared with her in confidence, confided in her, something that was very deeply hurtful to him and when he was vulnerable and he shared with her. And now he just can't believe that she did that she was that stooped that low to an argument and is acting out like nothing happened.
Unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable under any circumstances. I told you guys, this is going to trigger some of you because some of you have made this exact same mistake in your own lives. Watch what happens to our OP, our original poster, when he shares something he should have kept to himself with a woman.
He's not reevaluating the whole big picture of his life. And I've been going to go over here making the point, guys, that I would think twice about sharing some deeply personal things that somebody can use against you, even your own wife. In a perfect world, a very good wife, a loving wife or girlfriend, if you confide in something with her, she would never use it against you. She would actually appreciate that you're, being honest with her. But there are a lot of bad ones out there that would take it and use it against you. It's terrible. Titled, "My wife used my secrets and passed against me. I feel broken." It says, "I do not even know how to write this because my head feels like it is splitting into two. I keep hearing the words again and again, and I cannot believe they came out of her mouth. Reposting because there were some grammatical mistakes. He did one post and he's now redoing it. We've been married for 14 years. We built what I thought was a stable life together. 2 kids, our son who is 12 and our daughter who just turned 11. They are my entire world. When I look at them, I feel the kind of love that I never knew existed. Because the truth is, I never experienced that kind of love as a child myself. Well, this is a good dad. He loves his kids and he'll do anything for them. But remember, don't set yourself on fire to keep somebody warm. Keep yourself warm. Somebody else warm. That's how it is. But he loves his kids and he's a good guy. And obviously he had a crap childhood, so he wants to make up for that.
This is the trap a lot of men fall into. I did a video a while back about a guy I know personally who fell right into this exact same trap of trying to overcompensate as an adult for what happened when you were a kid with disastrous results. I'll link it down below for you guys who haven't seen it. And if you're new here, welcome. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel.
That's something my wife has always known about me, though it took years before I could say it out loud. When we first got together, she noticed I never talked about my parents. She noticed I always avoid talking about my childhood. She would tell me her stories, warm holiday memories, her parents decorating the house, sibling arguments that turned funny later on. I would just nod my head and smile. She told me she wanted to understand me better, to really know me. Over the years, she kept pressing until one day she begged me to open up to her. So I did. 7 years ago, I finally told her everything.
Why would you do that?
Now listen to this stuff about his childhood. It is awful. Makes you think of like Harry Potter, how he was treated by his freaking aunt and uncle. Yes, I've read some of the books and I've seen the movies. I told her I was never meant to be here. I was the 4th child after 3 siblings, a failed contraception baby. An accident, that is the word my parents used. They reminded me constantly that they did not want me. It was not subtle. It was not hidden. It was spoken outright. What kind of horrible people would tell their kid, even if they were considering not having him or her, and remind them on a daily basis that and all that? These are despicable, awful people. I gotta wonder if he's really their kid. I told about the amusement park when I was 9 years old, the day they tried to get rid of me. They left me behind on purpose. I knew even at that age, they thought I would panic, wander off, and disappear. What they did not expect was that I already knew how to get home. Hours later, they acted like it had been a mistake, that they lost me in the crowd, but I knew what it was. I knew that what they had intended. Holy crap. Either he's making this up, which I don't think he is, or these are some of the worst freaking people on the planet. Again, this makes me think of Harry Potter's aunt and uncle. I gotta wonder if this is actually their kid. I told her about the night my father wrapped his hands around my throat and squeezed until the world went dark at the edges. I could not breathe. My head felt like it would explode. To this day, I don't know why he let go. Maybe my mother walked in and maybe something inside me pulled back at the last second. Whatever it was, I lived, barely, but I lived. I told her about the food, how some nights everybody else ate at the table and I sat there watching. Not because we were poor, we had enough, but because I was excluded. What, he wasn't getting dinner? I mean, where's, at this point, with all this going on, you think at school some people would notice, like a teacher or somebody, like, is something all right with Harry over there, and digging deep and finding out what's going on? If they brought something good, they shared it amongst themselves, never with me. I remember sitting at the table as a kid, stomach empty, watching them laugh while I pretended not to exist. I told her how they never missed a chance to remind me that I was an accident. My parents said it. My siblings picked up on their behavior, and it became a running joke, that I should not exist, that I was a mistake that they could not erase. I told her how once they admitted that they had planned to have the procedure on me, but never went through with it. They said it with no hesitation, as if it were a casual piece of trivia, not a dagger to my chest. These are awful, despicable people. At 18 years old, I'd be gone, have nothing to do with these motherfuckers. And I told her about the winter night when my father locked me outside as punishment for something I didn't even do. I was maybe 10 years old. It was freezing. My God, I mean, there's got to be other people that know about this. Neighbors, other family or something. These people should be behind bars. I stood out there shivering, crying, my teeth rattling. I honestly thought I would not make it through the night. A neighbor eventually saw me, banged on the door. Until my mother opened it, the neighbor probably saved me. Okay, there you go. Then why was the neighbor calling the cops?
See, that's my question. Where the hell was CPS and all this? That bunch of busybodies. One phone call to social services and they would have been up his parents' asses like suppositories, like enemas. Where the hell?
These are things I poured out to my wife. It was not easy. I remember shaking as I said them. I remember how exposed I felt, like I had ripped open scars that I had carefully hidden for years. She hugged me afterwards, and she told me she was glad that I trusted her. She promised that she would never throw those things back at me.
So a 21st century woman living in an era of no-fault divorce, child support, and alimony made a promise. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, the fact that she actually has to say that, I mean, who would do that? Who would throw things like that back at somebody? The fact that she even brought that up. Well, last night she broke that promise. We argued. It was stupid. It started with our son's homework. She said I was too soft on him, that I let things slide. I said she was too harsh. It escalated. We were both on the defensive, and one of those arguments where you forget the point and you just keep trying to win. And then she said it. She looked me straight in the eye and said maybe my father should have finished what he started that night.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
So I gotta wonder here, this guy, given how he was raised and how awful it was, he then end up with a woman just like his mother or his father, right? Because people think that you spend enough time being told and treated in a way that maybe you're bad, you start thinking you're bad and you're not worth anything, and you attract people in your life, friends, acquaintances, girlfriends, wives, that reinforce that thought. Seriously. What a bitch.
Well, I can't disagree with the psychoanalysis SSM gave on that. This is a cue. This was his cue to throw that bitch in the trash where she belongs. You cannot share a life or anything with somebody who would do this to you, man. Absolutely not.
She looked at me straight in the eye and said all that, blah, 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 and I didn't even deserve to have a family, let alone children. She said that. That maybe would have been better if I had not survived. That I would never was wanted anyway, and I was the one who told her so. He confided in her, and she uses it against him to win an argument. I froze. I actually thought for a second that I misheard her, but she said it again calmly, as if she believed she was simply pointing out the truth. I cannot describe what it did to me. I have had cruel things said to me before in my life. I've been insulted, mocked, belittled. I know how to brush words off, but this was different. This was the one person I let into my deepest part of me. She took my pain and turned it into a weapon. I just stood there in silence. I didn't even yell back. I could not. It felt like something shattered inside me. Yeah, I mean, he was just so hurt by this, shocked, bewildered, puzzled, whatever you want to call it, just in disbelief. That's a better word to describe it. In their response. And she was so calm about it. There you go. She probably, the second he told her about those things, all of a sudden she was probably in the back of her mind thinking, well, I guess he isn't quite a catch. Ugh. And he's admitting this to me? I mean, seriously. It's like women telling guys to open up and confide in them. It's okay to cry. Guy does that, and immediately they're turned off. That's why you don't do it. Well, the rest of the night, I barely spoke, and she acted normal. Of course, because she's happy she won the argument. It was more important to her to win this argument and hurt you than actually, she doesn't love you.
Not even a little bit. I'm going to explain why here in a minute.
Like nothing had happened. I went to the spare bedroom, stayed there, and I lay awake at night, hearing her words over and over, blending with my parents' voices from years ago. Their cruel jokes, their reminders that I was unwanted, all coming back with her voice layered on top. I thought about the rage I carried as a teen, how I used to wish my mother would die painfully. I thought those feelings were buried deep, but last night she dug them up and threw them right back at me. I think I can speak for the community here and say it's time to ditch the bitch, go talk to a lawyer. Problem is he has 2 kids he loves to death and he doesn't want to screw that up, but he can't be with her. Well, I cannot move past this. This morning she was cheerful as if none of it had happened. Yeah, because she doesn't care. She knows how much she hurt you. I could barely look at her. All I could think of was something inside me that had broken. I didn't know if this can ever be repaired. Now I was sitting here thinking about divorce, or at least separation. I don't even know where to start. I don't even know what lawyer to call. I don't even know how to explain to the kids why their parents are breaking up. I don't know, shouldn't be too hard. Your mom's a fucking bitch. The end. Part of me wonders if I'm overreacting.
Fuck you mean?
You're not. If this is just a fight gone too far. But I know myself. I know I'm not overreacting because I cannot imagine ever forgetting what she had said to me. Usually I do move on from almost anything. I swallow pain, bury it, and keep going. I respect that he's strong, he's stoic, but still, it sounds like he's in a way passive, and this shit's just building up. But this is not just something I can swallow. This is different. She went to the deepest wound I have and drove the knife in. I need to say this clearly. I need validation. I need someone to tell me I'm not crazy for feeling this broken. I need condolences because I feel like I'm spiraling, replaying her words in my head. I thought my past was behind me. I thought I had buried it and moved on. Last night showed me that I was wrong. It is not buried. It is alive and can be used against me by the very person I trusted the most. And I do not know if I can ever forgive that. So that is the abrupt ending to his thing here. And obviously lots of people commented saying, get rid of her, divorce her, she's a train wreck. And he responds about that. And he's thinking about the divorce, people giving him advice. But and it seems like he's on that path in terms of his response to the comment section, which I'm not going to read. But the point of this whole thing is, aside from the obvious, she's awful, and his family are awful, and it sounds like it's nothing to do with him. Holy crap, this poor guy. Unfortunately, he bought into the narrative of, okay, she's been digging enough, I can open up about my past and tell her about this crap that's deeply hurtful to me and troubling. And she throws it in his face to win an argument, which tells me in no way, shape, or form she loves this guy. Probably never did. Probably just wanted to get married. I sure as hell hope those 2 kids he loves to death are, in fact, his children, and he should test them. But no, he can't stay married to her. And guys, number one, you should never stay married to someone that treats you this way, or marry them, to make it more clear. But also, what can happen, not all the time, but what can happen if you share these deep things? I've had girlfriends before that wanted me to open up, and this is in the past. And when I have done it, I can literally see in their body language being turned off by this thing. So don't do it. Now, I'm not saying you should be walking around letting things build up, being a ticking time bomb. That's the idea. If you're going to confide to somebody and let things out, let it be with somebody, one of your bros, one of them that cares, of course. That's not going to make funny and poke funny and shit like that. Somebody you can absolutely trust. But you never make your girlfriend or your wife your therapist, your mommy. Never, ever, ever, ever. And the worst thing is when they ask you, bug you about it. I'm not saying they're all going to be this way, but my God, don't do it. But if you're going to do it, at least, watch what you say, and certainly don't cry. Don't be a pussy about it. You're matter of fact, this is what happened, end of story. But this is awful. So this guy should divorce her. So guys, think twice when you're about to open up and so-called be vulnerable and cry. The narrative is a guy can cry, a guy can pour his heart out, be vulnerable watch it blow up in your face with the wrong person. So, and of course, guys, they treat you this way, end it, move on. And obviously, it seems like he's going to do that. We'll stay tuned.
Shout out to SSM, Strong Successful Male. I'm going to leave a link down to his Hit the Bricks channel, pinned into the top comment. But guys, before I get out of here, I just want you to remember one very important thing. it is critically important for you to understand female nature for a host of different reasons, all of which are helpful. But you need to understand women have a very skewed sense of reality because they spend so little time actually in it. The fairy tale candy land they walk through life every day living is one where a man must be 100% strong 100% of the time, because it's never talked about just how fragile female attraction for a man actually is. There are empty styrofoam cups that have more structural integrity than a woman's attraction for a man. Any little damn thing could torpedo it. You've seen that list of 65,000 different icks they've got. 98% of them are complete bullshit. Just to antagonize. Nothing helpful, nothing at all useful that men can get any use out of to learn from. Because they don't operate in the same world that we do. And you as a man have to understand, a woman asking you to open up isn't the safe landing you think it is. It is a trap, guys. It has always been a trap. It's been designed by them to be a trap. And if you love yourself, if you care about your mental health, you find someone who doesn't have a vagina to share your deepest, darkest secrets with. There are men you can talk to. If you need to go hug a tree in the middle of the forest and tell that tree and the owls sitting in a nest in its branches, fine. They're not going to say much. Be careful if that tree has parrots in it, though. That could be problematic. But beyond that, though, and to be serious for a moment, my heart breaks for this guy. Imagine growing up in that kind of household, getting out of there by, I don't even know what his method was. You start a family, and this woman who you have put your trust in, your faith in, your ring on, waits for an opportunity just to win an argument, to stab you in the fucking back? Nah, bro. He's got to get out of there. ASAP. He needs to talk to a lawyer and look at his options for damage control. Don't you make this same mistake, guys. Be smarter than our OP. Do not let them wear you down over time. Shut that shit down from the first go and let her know. If you ever ask me again, that will be my cue to know from you. If you say it again, that will be my cue to know that this relationship is over. I don't care if it's tomorrow. I don't care if it's 5 months from now. I don't care if it's 15 years from now. You say it again, that's my cue to put your ass on the curb with the rest of the garbage. And you look her in her face and make sure she understands that. That's all I got for today, fellas. That's my time. Like the video? Comment down below. Share with a friend, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Never let your brother suffer in silence when the truth can set him free. Networkers, we working. Until next time.